Hello everyone, Kiki Halbert here today. Welcome to Rebecca Lockhart's 1000 subscriber celebration hop. And I'm scrap lifting this really pretty layout that she's done that says Shine Bright with this star cut file. And I'm going to be using a cut file of some flowers in a picture, which I found it was either Paige Evans or it might have been available from Scrapbook and Cards Today. And so I'm going to be showing you different ways that you can back a card file, especially one that's really intricate. I'm going to be doing a few different things with it, so stay tuned for that. And I'll also be showing you how you can use some scraps from your papers that that you have sitting around, and how you can get a lot of use out of those. So first I have already backed some of the flowers in this floral picture, and then I also have the heart that was on the front of it backed, so you see that yellow chevron paper there, so that's backing it. So I didn't back all of the flowers. That would have been a lot of tedious work. I'm not a fussy cutter, if you remember. So what I'm going to do with this cut file is use some papers and then some other media to fill in the different spots. And so you'll see that there's quite a bit that I'm going to pull out. So I'm going to put that down on the page. And you'll see that I've left quite a bit of it. Now, when you're using cut files, you usually end up using liquid glue because foam is really hard on things that are very intricate to get onto. And so you saw me just now using an eraser to erase the glue that got onto the white mat, the white mat of the picture. And there I am again. So all I'm doing is I'm erasing some glue that dried. Now I want to make sure that I'm going to tuck in my photos. If you recall Rebecca's photo of Rebecca's layout, excuse me, that I'm scrap lifting, she had a couple of smaller pictures. I would say they were probably 3x4 and 3x4. And so what I did is I actually used a couple of 4x6s. But I am going to cut them down a little bit. So I'm just right now getting some of my media that I want to use that is going to go with this paper collection. I'm using, by the way, the March kit from Hip Kit Club. And if you want information about that, you can just ask me in the comments below and I'll answer any questions that you might have. So I'm going to be using a variety of media. I'm using some distress stickles. I'm using some perfect pearls. You'll see that I'm also, there's my glue again, I'm just gluing down one that didn't want to really stick. So there. I'm going to be using some Nouveau drops, and so these are crystal Nouveau drops, and this one is called Party Pink, and then the other one that I used, let me see if I can find the color for you. I think, oh, it was a lovely purple. Where is it? There it is. The other one is called Crushed Grape. So those are the two colors that I used there. And the crystal drops will actually dry translucent. So you'll see some of the color underneath. So just remember that if you're going to use something like crystal drops to fill in a cut file, that you're going to get some color come through from the background. So you've either got to put it on really thick and be patient with it to dry, or you have to be prepared that it's not going to be the true color of what you put down. I'm also using some Distress Oxide stickles in blue. I think this might be Blue China or something like that. And then I'm also going to use some, there's the, again, that's the same Distress stickles, glitter stickles. I love the glitter stickles. They're really pretty. And you can do a lot with them, you know. Some people have used cut files and made shaker boxes out of them. Well, the thing that I like about using the stickles with it is it's almost like having a little shaker box. The you know, the glitter doesn't move, obviously, but it just looks really pretty. And then this is the purple in the Nouveau drops. This is the grape in the crystal again. So I used it in a variety of areas. And then I'm also going to pull out my Perfect Pearls. So I used a Perfect Pearl in pink already. I think it was Ballerina, maybe. Maybe not. It's a little darker than Ballerina. Let me see if I can find the color. It was, the one that I used is called Hydrangea. So it's more on the pinky purple side. And the nice thing about using the Perfect Pearls is that it is not translucent. It dries opaque, so it will cover the background. So I'm using a variety of those just to fill in the rest of my cut file. And it really comes out, really looks pretty cool. Wait till the end of the video when you see the close-ups of it. All the different textures, and it just makes it look really kind of very different. And so I'm filling in the leaves with the green Perfect Pearls. This one is called Sage. And so those I got, most of my Perfect Pearls I got from Close to My Heart. The Distress glitters, I think I got a couple of them from Clipper Street Scrapbooking, I want to say. So now usually you'd want these to dry before you move on, but since I'm really not going to be putting anything over this cut file, I'm just going to continue working, and that, you know, that way it'll dry as I go. They dried pretty quickly, which is nice. I do have a couple of little splotches here and there that I end up, you know, hitting my hand on or whatever. But it's okay because it's perfectly imperfect. I'm used to that. And then I'll just, you know, I'll just clean it up later. You'll see that some of the little dots that I did in the purple glitters, I actually cover with the enamel dots from the kit later. So I'm just cutting down my photos to a size that's a little bit easier to work with and doesn't cover up too much of the page. As I said, this is a scrapbook hop, a celebration hop for Rebecca Lockhart. And you can find all of the people that are following along the hop who are going to be scraplifting Rebecca in my description box. Congratulations, Rebecca, on 1,000 subscribers. That is awesome. Really nice to see that that you got there. She is such a talented lady, let me tell you. She loves doing things with mixed media, with cut files as well. And she has a style that I really enjoy watching her videos of as well. So check her video out for sure, and her videos. And if you're not subscribed to her channel, I really recommend you do. She runs some little free YouTube courses as well. She's running one on mixed media. And then later on this month, Rebecca and I are going to be doing a collaboration on, and it's going to be called Mixed Media Double Take. And so we're going to be scraplifting the same layout but using different types of mixed media, so stay tuned for that in the future. So here what I'm doing, I have pulled out some of the die cuts from the kit, and there is lovely chipboard as well in the kit. And what I've done is I have used just an embossing, what do they call that, anti-static pouch, just to make sure that they're not sticky anymore, so that I can use them like die cuts. And this So Excited, I'm putting up on some foam, the same as I did with the photo that is above the second, the photo. So the close-up is closer to the page, and then the other one is sitting on top of that with some foam. And Rebecca's layout had some layers underneath, a few layers of paper. But what I'm going to do here is I'm actually using some branding strips from the kit. I'm distressing the edges because hers was kind of grungy and distressed a little bit for the papers around the photos. She had them just peeking out ever so slightly. So what I'm going to do is I'm saving my paper for other layouts because I haven't used the kit too much yet. And I'm going to just use the branding strips and distress them and tuck them underneath the photos. Nobody has to know how big the branding strips are or how big the papers are. And it's a great way to add some extra layers to your layout, but without using your papers, but still showing off those different layers and distress as well. So you'll see that I'm going to just, I've got the one that's the kind of the bluish purple background and with the flowers on it, and I'm going to use that and tuck that out from underneath my photo as well, just rip off the top. I'm going to go and look for some other scraps that I have left over from the kit, from my first use of it. I still have about 80% of the kit left, honestly. So I found polka dot paper, and I thought this would be perfect because it's white. It's going to bring a little bit of lightness to these dark photos as well. And I'm just going to tuck those behind the photos with torn edges. I'm going to duplicate that at the bottom as well. You'll see me do that. And you'll see how I have this so excited on the foam. And so consequently, when you put things on foam, you have to glue them down with liquid glue or some kind of a liquid adhesive. And so what I did is I took it up, I pulled it up, and then I put my other layers down first, and then put down the So Excited again, and then this Spring is Nature's way of saying, let's party, which is, for me, these photos represent. These were taken back in Ottawa, and we used to walk through a park that was just full of these. I think they're crab apples, and they look so beautiful. So I had to take some photos of them, and since it's been a long time coming this spring, it just seems like spring was so long. We just finally had a heat wave here in the Pacific West Coast. And so I've been feeling like I need to scrapbook some of these flowers that I don't see as often here. We have a lot of cherry blossoms, of course, but I haven't seen a lot of crab apples and things like that. So wanted to scrapbook these ones from back home. And so here's some more of the die cuts as well that I'm playing around with. I've got a variety of them. You'll see that I've got this little tag that says Bloom and Grow because Rebecca had something up at the very top as a little label up there. So I thought I would put that down. And then I'm creating a cluster just at the bottom of this picture because the picture is nice, but it's like stark white. So, I mean, it just can't sort of all of a sudden be just sitting there on the page. So I thought it would be better to have a cluster around it at the bottom. And then I've put this little Spring's notes, and it feels like spring is in the air over top of it. I really kind of love the way it turned out that way. And then you'll see on the left-hand side there, I've got a couple of really pretty acetate butterflies. So stay tuned to see how I'm planning on putting them. They're acetate, they're not vellum. How I'm going to put them down without the glue showing through, because a lot of times that's why people shy away from acetate and using vellum as well. And so I learned a really cool technique from my latest copy of Creative Scrapbooker. And so if you can find that on the shelves, that will show you the details of how to create the roll of adhesive that I used to get those onto the page. Now this little Bloom and Grow is a really tiny tag, and I did want to pop it up. So what I did is I took my adhesive foam squares. These are the thin version, and because the squares are actually the exact width, I didn't want them showing too much. Sometimes you can see them peeking out. So what I did is I cut them in half to make them fit on the page. You know, I want my stash to go as far as I can, you know, to get the best use out of it. So that's what I did rather than working. So there you saw me. I was just, what I did for those rolls, you see that roll, it looks almost like string. That is a roll of Suquang tape. And so you can use Suquang, you can use red tape, you can use any double-sided tape. And then what I do, I put it onto the mat, pull up the backing, and then roll with your fingers so that you're creating a log of adhesive. And that way you can take the log and you can form it around the areas you want. And you'll see that with the coppery kind of butterfly on the left hand side, I used it in areas where that metallic is printed, and so you can't see the adhesive underneath. Same thing on the other side with the blue one. It's a little bit harder with the blue one because the blue one is even finer, but because of the way that it's designed, I've got the adhesive under there and it doesn't really show that much. You'll see the details of that in the detail shots at the end of the video, but you really can't tell, and that's a great tip that I got from Creative Scrapbooker magazine and a recent virtual crop that I went to. So I'm going to take this Pretty Flowers Go Fresh and I'm going to pop that up on some foam so that I've got some different layers again that are underneath this picture. And then I'm going to use, I'm just putting down all the different embellishments. I'm not using too many of them. I'm trying to keep it pretty simple because Rebecca did as well. She did have this really great big title. So I'm just going to put down a title on my page using the alpha that came with the kit. And what's nice about it is it's actually 2 alphas in one. One is large and one is slightly smaller, so I'm going to be just putting down my title. So be sure to check out the ladies that are in the description box who are playing along and celebrating with Rebecca, celebrating her 1,000 subscriber hop. I recently celebrated 500 subscribers, and I've surpassed that now, but I am having a small giveaway, as is Rebecca. Rebecca's giving a little giveaway on her channel as well, so make sure that you visit it. And I will be announcing the winner of my celebratory hop, which I recently had, in my next video. So stay tuned for that. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. I'd really appreciate that. And, you know, let your friends know that I do videos and with little tips and tricks and things. And hopefully you find them useful. And also, if you are subscribed, make sure that you click the notification bell so that you get notified of when my next videos come out. Sometimes they don't show up automatically on your feed. So, so if you get the notification bell, you'll get a notification, obviously, to see my latest video. And I'd really appreciate that if you do. And if you enjoyed this video too, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. So I'm just about finished with the layout. So the one thing that in the Rebecca's layout, hers was sort of roughed up around the edges, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something a little different. And when I just got this, it's a fake crystal katana for my picking up sequins. I'm going to add some sequins because Rebecca had sequins on her layout as well. I did use some enamel dots. I had some extra enamel dots from some previous kits, and I put those around the page, but I'm actually going to put down some of, see, I'm putting down the dots now, and I've got a crystal katana on the right hand side that's going to help me put down the sequins really easily. And I got a tip from Jennifer Gagne, I think it was. She said she got it on Amazon, and so I went looking for one. I had the version, the Pick Me Up by We Are Memory Keepers, which is, or no, it's by Silhouette, sorry, and it's supposed to help you pick up small pieces of sequins and things like that. And I just found I didn't enjoy that much. But I really do enjoy this little crystal katana. So thank you, Jennifer, for that tip. It was really useful. So I hope that you guys will stay tuned for the close-ups so that you can get a really good view of how I did all the layering of the different media and the papers in the cut file. And then also the acetate butterflies so that you can see the detail that really it's very hard to tell that there is any kind of adhesive under there. Excuse me. And the nice thing about it is that it sticks very, very well, the adhesive, but they're also popped up slightly. So, if you wanted to use foam or something like that, you would totally see the foam underneath the butterflies. But with that tape roll or adhesive roll, you don't see that. Depending of course on your vellum. I mean, this one has the wings have borders and thicker areas and stuff, but so that worked really well. Oh, excuse me. My throat's been bothering me lately. So I'm putting down just these really pretty sequins. I just decided to stick with some silver because there were some silver butterflies, even though the other butterfly is like a rose gold. I don't have any rose gold sequins yet, and I am going to buy some. Let me know in the comments below where you get your source for sequins. Do you shop at a specific sequin store like Spiegel Mom Scraps? Or do you get yours at a big box craft store or the dollar store? I'd really love to hear where you got yours and if you're enjoying using them. And here I'm just creating, just writing out a border around the page with some false stitching, just for some interest and make the page look a little grungier. I do enjoy a little bit of grunge, eclectic grunge, I guess you could say. So stay tuned. Here come the close-ups. Again, I want to thank you so much for being here. Check out all the videos that the ladies have done. And stay tuned for Rebecca and I for our mixed media double take. I really hope you enjoyed the video and you're enjoying the close-ups. There's the mixed media with all of the different styles of mixed media in the cut file. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate you coming by, and have a great week.